and to please is to serve. And Mirage also says that that which you do the best, you can offer with the most love. And on festival days, you see people doing their best, the Kirtaneers giving their best, Vasudev and the crew in the Pujari room doing their best, people coming together to do their best for Krishna. And it's really a community effort. And that's what I really love about festivals the most. So, very cool. Yeah, to love is to please, and to please is to serve. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we offer our best to Krishna, not because we're selfish or we're lacking surrender, but because it just comes out the best and it pleases Krishna the most. Dancers must dance, writers must write for Krishna, speakers must speak for Krishna, philosophers must present the Bhagavatam for Krishna, Kirtaniyas must do kirtan for Krishna. Yeah, because it pleases him the most. Right, Jamuna Jaya? What we do the best, we offer Krishna with the most love.
Yeah. And Raj always says this too, and it makes always festival days makes me think of this. He always says, what's the difference between a community and a crowd? And a crowd is just a bunch of people that are coming together to serve their own personal interests. But a community is a bunch of people that come together to serve something higher than themselves. And on festival days, that's what it is. It's all these people coming together to serve Krishna and to please Krishna. And I would say the best part of the festival, for me anyway, is really the beforehand, the setup, where everyone's scurrying around and people making the garlands and the cooks are cooking and we're figuring out what to do in the pujari room. And that's really the heart of it.
I spent almost $3,000 on a
See, poor guy.
solar generator. I never knew having a solid solar generator.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
The following is the class on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text number 51 and 52, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 8th October 1976 in Vrindavan.
So, in the previous verse, it is described Bhagavan Devaki Suta. Bhagavan Krishna Devaki Suta. Still, people may doubt that Krishna, being Devaki Suta, how he can become the Supreme Personality of God. Because sometimes very powerful person is also called Bhagavan. So, such persons have very confidence in Vishnu. Vishnu is Chaturbhuja. Therefore, here in this verse, Krishna is confirmed to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead by adding this word Chaturbhuja. Don't doubt, because Krishna has appeared with two hands. That does not mean he is not Bhagavan, he is Chaturbhuja. To confirm it. Actually, sometimes it is said that Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu, but actually Vishnu is incarnation of Krishna. Aham adihi devana, that is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu also one of the devas, first principle devas, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. Gunavata. Vishnu expanding himself in 3 avatars. Satagun, he takes charge himself. Satagun. Rajagun, it is given to Brahma in charge. And Tamagun is given to the Lord Shiva. Sisti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Sisti, creation, is done by Brahma, Rajagun. And Sthiti, maintenance, is done by Vishnu. And distraction is done by Lord Shiva, Tamagun. He is not Tamagun, in charge of Tamagun. Just like somebody becomes a superintendent of jail. It does not mean that the superintendent is also one of the prisoners. No. He is in charge of the jail department. Similarly, Lord Shiva, he is not in Tamagun. He is transcendental. He is almost Vishnu. He is neither ordinary human being. Lord Shiva is in between Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. So how he can be in the Tamagun? Nobody is, they are all transcendental, especially Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu has nothing to do with these material affairs. As a big man, a rich man has nothing to do personally, but he gets things done by his assistant, by his servant. It is like that. In the Vedas also, Upanishad, it is said, Natasya kajyam karanancha vidyati. Lord Vishnu has nothing to do personally. Natasya kajyam karanancha vidyati, natasya sama adhikasta dishyati. Nobody is equal to him, neither nobody is greater than him. Everyone is below. Therefore, Vishnu Tattva is asama urdha. Nobody is equal, nobody is higher. To consider equal to Vishnu Tattva is aparad, offense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned this offense very strictly. Prakita koriya mane Vishnu kalevar aparad nahi ar ihar upar. If somebody thinks Vishnu as one of the product of this material world, Prakita. Prakita boliya mane Vishnu kalevar aparad nahi ar ihar upar. The Mayavadi philosophers, they adduce that Vishnu's body is, Vishnu comes, appears, and he accepts a material body. That is condemned by Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti manga murha manasim tanumas. He does not accept any material body. Tadatmanam sijamaham atmamayaya sambhavami atmamayaya. That with material help, atmamaya, Shakti. So, Krishna, there is no difference between Krishna's soul and Krishna's body. Just like we have God. We are different from this body. And Krishna is not different from the body. He does not change his body. Although he assumes several avatars, but he does not change his body. Advaita, Achyuta, not different from the original personification, identification. Advaita Achyuta Anadi, Ananta
Wait, let's
Rupam,
stop for a
although
minute here and see if
he
we can make
assumes
out
in
what Prabhupada's saying.
so many varieties of Vishnu.
Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna.
What did Srila Prabhupada say? Where did he start?
He began with I missed the first couple of lines, but he began to talk about that Vishnu was the avatar of Krishna and not the other way around. And he began to talk about the gunas and the guna avatars of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. And he particularly spent some time unpacking that even though Lord Shiva is associated with Tamagun, he is not in Tamagun. He is the superintendent of it. And it's not to think that Lord Shiva is Tamagun. And then I loved how he said that uh, uh, Lord Vishnu takes care of Satvagun himself, the mode of goodness, that when he takes care of himself, where Lord Shiva is the superintendent of Tamas, and Lord Brahma is the superintendent of Rajas. And that's sort of where it began a little bit.
Yeah, there are misperceptions. Srila Prabhupada's making it very clear that there's no one equal to, no one greater than Krishna. He is the supreme. And thinking even that he's an incarnation, some people think that Vishnu's taken on a material body, or that Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. It's not correct. Krishna's two Bhagavan, he's the source of everything. And Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna, a different manifestation for the purpose of maintaining creation. So he said it's actually offensive to think that Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva are equal to or independent of the Supreme Lord. And because Krishna is supreme, Lord Shiva's manifestation in charge of the material mode of ignorance is somewhere between. It is not that he is the Supreme Lord fully manifest, and it is not that he is an ordinary living being or a demigod. So he exalts the position of Lord Shiva, and yet cautions us not to consider this to be Krishna's full, complete, highest form of manifestation. Okay, let's go on a little bit here, see what further Srila Prabhupada has to say with it.
Still Advaita, Achyuti Anadi, Ananta Rup, Adyam Purana Purusham, Namajovanat. Therefore, Vishnu Tattva is never looks like old man. Navajovan, always young. Krishna, always young. Navajovanaj. So, in order to confirm Krishna's position, here it is not Devaki Sutta, because one may doubt that Devaki Sutta is ordinary human being or living being. No. Here it is said Chaturbhuja. Here it is said Bhagavan. Here it is said Chaturbhuja. So we should always remember that Krishna is the supreme being. And Krishna says, Matta Parataram Nanya. Don't think that above Krishna there is any other higher authority, either Brahma or Paramatma or Vishnu. So many absolute truth is manifested in so many features, but Krishna is the original. Krishna su Bhagavan Swayam. Iti chang sagala pungsha Krishna su Bhagavan Swayam. It is summarized in the Srimad Bhagavatam that there are so many descriptions of the incarnation of Vishnu, but at the end, Vasudev concludes that whatever incarnations are described here, they are Angsha Kala. Angsha means direct expansion and Kala means expansion of the expanse. Just like Krishna, the first expansion is Balaram, Baladev. The next expansion is Sankarsan, Vasudeva, Anuruddha, Pradyumna. The next expansion is Narayan. The next expansion again, second Chaturdha, Sankarsan again, Ditya Chaturdha. And the next expansion, Vishnu, Mahavishnu. Next expansion, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. The next expansion is Kirodakshay Vishnu. In this way, there are different expansion, but Krishna su Bhagavan sa Adyam Purusham Sasvatam. Krishna is the original person. Therefore Krishna says, Matta Paratanam Nana. I am not expansion of it. Sarva Karana Karana. Ishara Parama Krishna. They are all Isharas, controller. Vishnu Tattva is controller, always. Mayadhaksena Prakriti Suyati Sacharacharam. Everywhere, Vishnu is the supreme controller. So, every Vishnu Tattva is controller. There is no doubt. And they have got equal power. Not that Lord Ramchandra is less powerful than Krishna. No. They have equal power. The example is described in the Brahma Samhita. Deepachiriva dasantaram abhupit. Just like one candle. You ignite another candle. You ignite another. But all these candles, they are equally powerful. Although you can say this is first candle, this is second candle, this is third candle. Similarly, Vishnu Tattva, everyone is equally powerful. Although Krishna is first, Balaram is second, Sankarsan is third, like that. But they do not think they are less powerful. No. Vishnu Tattva means they are equally powerful.
Okay, good bite. Let's see if we can go back and recount
Ramadimurti
what Prabhupada said. Where does Srila Prabhupada start? His rebuttal. Go on.
He started here as saying that there is nothing above Krishna, and that then he began to talk about the expansions of Krishna, and that it's the fallacy to think that they are less. I forget what the word he used, but less powerful. Krishna, he said, Ramachandra is not less powerful than Krishna. And he talks about all the different expansions and of Krishna, but Krishna is the original, and there's nothing above him.
And he quotes Mata Paraktaram Nanyat Kasidatati, that everything emanates from me, Sarva Karna Karnam, I am the cause of all causes. And he says everything rests on me like pearls on a thread. That analogy of the candle, the lit candle can light so many candles, but you can always remember that there is an original candle. Each candle is equally powerful, giving off light and heat. But Krishna is the first, and then Balaram, and then Sankarshan, and on through the different Mahavishnu, Garbhoda, Vishnu, Kshirodakshi, Vishnu, the different ways that Krishna manifests in this world are all emanating from Krishna. He's revolving around that subject matter again and again, reinforcing from scripture and Krishna's personal statement, Mata Parataram Nanya. Everything emanates from me. Anything else you can remember?
One other thing going back, well, it says it here on this slide that they're equally powerful, right? That these emanations are not less powerful than Krishna because they're
Expansion.
expansions of Krishna, but not the same, right? But going back to the last piece that we listened to, the offense that was mentioned, I thought was going to be the offense of, like in the 10 offenses, not considering the names of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu. But I recall that the offense that he was mentioning was something that Lord Chaitanya said, that we shouldn't think of that it's a mistake to think of the body of Lord Vishnu to be material and to be something that comes and goes. Is that right? Was that the offense that he was talking about? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to understand that these different manifestations of Krishna, like Lord Ramachandra, are equally powerful. Yet the distinction is that Krishna is fully manifesting all his different qualities and manifests some qualities that other ways that Krishna appears do not. Krishna has the intimate, loving exchanges. Krishna plays the flute. There are different things that only Krishna does, even though the other incarnations, just like you might have an actor, and in one movie, he shows off his martial arts skills, or another movie, he shows off his ability to sing, or another movie, he may walk on his hands. I saw one, can't think of the name, the devotee, the actor was doing that. But these are different abilities that he may show in one movie, but when Krishna appears, he shows the whole spectrum, all of his attributes, all of his potencies, and other things that other incarnations of Krishna do not. You don't see Mahavishnu standing on the bank of the Jamuna kissing the gopis on the lips in the moonlight. He's showing his power and his majesty and his beauty, and but Krishna is showing all six opulences in full and beyond his other appearances. Is that clear?
Yeah, thank you.
There's only one Krishna. Well, even though he manifests in so many different ways.
And he loves Radha Rani.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about what you said about that graffiti. Krishna loves Radha. Like everything we heard yesterday really could just be summarized in that sweet graffiti. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a Valentine with the arrow through it carved in the tree.
Yeah.
I thought it was Radha loves Krishna.
Yes, you're right. You're correct.
Oops.
But there is a mutual affection. Krishna, Radharani is the personification of love of God. She's love of Krishna personified. Just like Uncle Bhima is rough and tough personified. Okay, what's next? Anything else? Huh? We're going to call you rough and tough.
Krishna goes into listing the list of expansions of Krishna. Prabhupada does, cites the list of expansions of Krishna. I have a question about that. So when we hear that these expansions are like the candle lit by the first candle, and that first candle or second candle is not, it's they're equally powerful. Is this when we hear that that these expansions of the Lord are plenary portions of the Lord?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
He can do it. He can show his qualities, and he can appear in different ways, and he can manifest Buddha Ramachandra in manifesting his regal integrity and some chivalrous pastimes conquering demons. Krishna's got the whole gamut, the entire package. He's fully Krishna and continually expanding. He's not limited in any way. Okay, let's go on. Let's hear what else Srila Prabhupada has to share with us.
Kala. Rama is expansion of Vishnu, but it is not that Rama is less powerful than Krishna. Nobody is less powerful. Ramadimuttisha kala niyamena tishthan nana avataram akarat bhuvaneshu kintu. There are so many avatars. Krishna sayang samabhavat paramapumana. But Krishna is the paramapuma, the supreme being, the supreme person. And Krishna to Bhagavan sayang everywhere. Ishara parama Krishna. Satchidananda Vigraha, Matta Paratanam Nanya. This is the conclusion of the Shastra. So don't consider that Krishna, because he has come, appeared in Vrindavan like a cowherd boy, never think, of course the Vrindavan Vasi, they do not know what is Krishna. They are villagers. They do not know. But they do not love anyone more than Krishna. That is their qualification. They do not know even Vishnu. When the gopis saw Vishnu Murti, Krishna assumed the Vishnu Murti, they are passing, and they said, oh, here is Vishnu, all right, namaskar. They are not interested even in Vishnu. They are interested in Krishna, although they do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if without knowing what is Krishna, if you simply become attached to Krishna, then your life is successful. Simple, somehow or other, you become attached. Maya saktamana prartha, yogang junjanam mada. Simply you have to, this is Krishna consciousness movement, somehow or other, you increase your attachment for Krishna. Somewhere or other. Jena tena prakarena, mana Krishna nivesaya. This is Rupa Goswami's instruction. Somehow or other, you become attached to Krishna. Then your life is successful. So this Krishna consciousness movement is trying to induce people how to become attached to Krishna. That is Bhakti Yoga. Jena tena prakarena, mana Krishna nivesaya. Then Vidhi Nisedha, there are so many rules and regulations for Bhakti Yoga. Yes, there are. And Rupa Goswami says, Sarve Vidhi Nisedha su retayo reva kinkara. Somewhere or other, if you become attached to Krishna, then all the vidhis and regulatory principles and rules and regulations, they will act as your servant. They'll automatically, because as soon as you become attached to Krishna, Krishna says, Kiprang bhavati dharma atma. Kiprang bhavati dharma. Satsat shanti nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijani. Name bhakta pranas. Kiprang. Very soon. Apide sudurachara. Bhajate mamanannabha. Sadhureva sam. Don't think that these Europeans or Americans, they are mlechas and javas. That is aparad, offense. Because they are sadhu. They do not know. They have accepted Krishna without any hodgepodge understanding. That this is also good, this is also good, this is also good. They are strictly following the instruction of their spiritual master, Krishna to Bhagavan. Even a small child in our association, Shamsundar's daughter, she would go to somebody, she was only 5 years old, she would ask, do you know Krishna? So somebody said, no, I do not. Oh, Supreme Personality. She would preach like that. So they are convinced. Krishna to Bhagavan sound. This conviction is the foremost quality. Then other things will follow. Sarve vidhi nisedasu retayo riva kinkara. If one is simply convinced on this point that Krishna to Bhagavan sound, and it does like that, follows the principle that Krishnaika saran, atosab chari, varnasam dharma, Krishnaika saran, there is one, mamekang sarana. So do that. Stick to this principle that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is Paratattva, the absolute truth, and Krishna is all-pervading. Maya tatamidam sadmam. Krishna is everywhere. Jagat abhakta murtina, this abhakta. The Krishna's potency is everywhere. Therefore, those who are advanced devotees, they do not see anything else than Krishna. Everywhere he sees Krishna. And that is a fact. Krishna also teaches that I am here. If you cannot conceive that Krishna is everywhere present, the Krishna personally gives you an instruction. Here I am. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Everyone is drinking water at least 4 times, 5 times. So at the time of drinking water or drinking anything, if you remember Krishna, then you become purified. Maya sakta, mana prartha. That is yoga, bhakti yoga. If you practice only this, whatever you drink something for some taste. So either you drink sarbat or water or meal or even wine. Because the Europeans, Americans, they are accustomed to drink wine. But if they follow this instruction of Krishna, that this taste is Krishna, then he remembers Krishna. Manmana bhavamad bhakta. As soon as he brings Krishna in his mind, he becomes a bhakta. So easy. Anyone can become Krishna bhakta if he follows the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. There is no division. Manmana bhavamad bhakta. This is the simple process. Raso amapsukantiya prabhasmi sasisuja. This is for ordinary class of men. But if you think that you are very advanced in learning in Vedic literature and Vedic mantras, there, Krishna says, Pranava sarva Vedesu. That pranavankara, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pasyanti. That pranava is Krishna. Pranava Sarvabhedi. So either you become a highly learned scholar in Vedic literature, or you are simply an ordinary person. You can think of Krishna and you become
Okay,
successful
let's
in
stop
your
there for a
life.
minute.
There is no difficulty.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada emphatically explaining somehow or other become attached to Krishna and your life is perfect. What else does he say?
He was giving the example of gopis.
Huh?
When gopis were searching for Krishna, Lord appeared as a four-hand form. So gopis thought is Lord Vishnu and then just offered obeisances and went ahead. So they're just simply focused on Krishna. They're so much attached to Krishna. So that time Srila Prabhupada was telling that somehow or other we should have this much attachment to Krishna. Though we may not be able to understand him completely, but still our life will be perfected. So Prabhupada followed up by saying that Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma. What will happen by that attachment? Quickly they'll become purified. Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma. So
Interesting enough about that pastime, when Krishna appeared with his forearm form, since the gopis were desiring and looking specifically for Krishna, Krishna couldn't even maintain his forearm form in front of them. He kept reverting back to his form as Krishna because Krishna he reciprocates with us as we approach him. He responds accordingly.
I do have Prabhupada says so many rules and regulations in Bhakti Yoga, they say, but soon eventually they'll become your servant. Can you explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, everything is accomplished. When you have $1 million, all your $10 problems are solved. If we simply are somehow or other attached to Krishna, then everything else is accomplished. There's so many rules and regulations, and but this is above and beyond. It's the one fell swoop. It's the panacea. Remembering Krishna is the goal, and if you get to the goal, then the other things are irrelevant. Sometimes we have things to do that will help us to remember Krishna, but then when you get there, these other things fall away. It's a avadut kind of situation where we're beyond the rules and regulations. Arjun broke all the rules. He killed his grandfather. He fought against his teacher, martial arts teacher. He killed his relatives. He hit somebody below the belt, and following what Krishna asked him to do, the ordinary rules and regulations. Prabhupada says that's for an ordinary man. But Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Rasoham apsukan. I am the taste of water. I am the light of the sun. I am whatever you see, whatever you drink. If you say this, the taste of this water is Krishna, then that makes our consciousness focused on the goal. On the goal. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It all just clicked. Thank you.
Sorry, Prabhupada. Anything else Prabhupada said? We're running down to just a few vapors, a few partial.
he
There
also
was,
said that it's offensive to think that certain people cannot be the devotees of the Lord. Especially he was referring to the devotees from the Western world. So criticizing them, it's an offense because the fact is that attachment to Krishna is most important, and they have got that attachment. So
Yeah.
it would be very much offensive to criticize them. Yeah.
And he quotes that verse that Bhajate Mama Nanya Bhak. He quotes that verse that says, even if one has committed the most abominable activity. If he's going on in devotional service, the verse says he is to be considered saintly. Very soon he will become righteous. Do not think that this is disqualified because there's been fall down, a mistake. The important point is to go on in devotional service, just like the analogy is given, like a toddler. He's learning to walk. At first, he gets up and he falls down, he gets up and he falls down, but sooner or later, he's dancing and running. So the process of continuing the endeavor erases the temporarily stain of even the most abominable activity. At least that's what Scripture says, and that's what Prabhupada is saying. Don't think that you are disqualified. Krishna will give you access to rectify yourself. Sins will be forgiven. Purification will go on, and you'll come to the highest platform if you continually make the endeavor to engage in devotional service. So consoling, because Krishna says every endeavor is covered by flaws, just like fire is covered by mistake. There's always going to be some bump in the road. But Krishna sees our intention and our endeavor and our sincerity and gives us credit. I love that thing Madan Gopal says. If once, even casually, we say, Lord, I'm yours, then Krishna will draw a line from where we are to the perfectional stage, and he'll work in our life to bring us up. So let us say, Lord, we're here on your behalf. We're available for you. And rest in Krishna's promise. All right, well, the curtain is about to open in a few seconds. We see the curtains wiggling, the Bajari is scampering. So we're going to try to put this device on the hundi so we can see Krishna. Unless anybody else wants to say anything.
You know who is
Prabhupada
Krishna?
says,
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, you want to?
if we remember Krishna, our life is successful.
That's the point. That's the bottom line.
He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From his side, where my livings, my is forever. The great scriptures sing to your head. Our spiritual master, the ocean of birth. Rather than the war, the world around him. O master, we have to all of us. Give us a shade of those people. Thank you for the Lord. Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Radha Muralidhar, Shri Gaur Chandra, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Morning Class Sangha. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for keeping the yagya going, for participating so actively and contributing so nicely. Thank you so much. Would anyone like to speak? This is the Afterglow with an Acharya. Bhima Prabhu is the Acharya, and Adipurusha Prabhu.
I would like to say also how we're talking about the, to follow the principles, and that's what it says in all the Vedic scriptures, and Krishna says it, and it's just really nice because we could actually do it and see results. It's not like you just hear it and maybe one day like it actually works, like Prabhupada said to people who are coming in, challenging him, why do these rounds, why follow these principles, and finally he's like, just do it, just try it. And they did. And, they saw the results.
Yeah. Yeah, why Krishna? Why is Krishna God? Just theoretically accept and see if it makes sense to you and see what happens.
One of the offenses to the holy name is to follow the rules and regulations. Forget why you're doing it. And Jesus accused the Pharisees who said, "You're straining at a net, but you're swallowing a camel." Sometimes people follow the rules and regulations and they forget that this is for Krishna's pleasure. Because sometimes for Krishna's pleasure, we're asked to break the rules, which is but
I
still.
was waiting for that, for that statement.
Smarta Brahmins.
Are you
I
still
went.
is Ananda Bihari still on vacation?
No, no, look. I'm wearing an apron. I'm in the water heater room doing service for Krishna
Why
to
don't you
please.
why don't you come out of the closet?
I
I
can't.
think it's time for you to come out of the closet.
All of your experience with the Orthodox monastery.
Yeah. We went on this quick trip, and I was lamenting that this trip is so dry. There's nothing connected with God. Just nothing to share in class. You just see a bunch of parks and the lake.
What
And
about
then,
your son and your wife and your daughter? They're
oh,
connected more than
do not,
you are.
do
In
not.
fact, you have to go through them to get to Krishna. So what are you talking about? You're the one who's not connected.
That's right. That's right. That's a valid point, Bhima Prabhu. But you were derailing me. The point I'm trying to make is quite I mean, the instance I'd like to describe is quite miraculous. So as I was lamenting about how this trip has nothing to do with Krishna, the lady at this mansion that we went to see, this historic site, that the lady over the counter told us, so what are you guys doing? Have you checked the area? And we said, yeah, we saw this and that. And she said, you should see this Russian Orthodox monastery 15 minutes away from here. And, we went there. And on my way there, I realized, Krishna, you answered my prayer within 15 minutes. You sent that lady who told us about this monastery. And finally, my heart was satisfied. Of course, taking care of the family is part of devotional service. For sure, Bhima Prabhu, that's...
No, Prabhu. Well, that I had heard about that. Adi told me about how wonderful the place was. Can you briefly describe like how wonderful it was?
They all have devotee vibe. All those people. They look different. They have a little more hair, and the outfit is different, and the mood is a little different. But the devotee vibe, they all have it. I was served nice food, and the food was sattvic. I said, "Does it have meat or garlic onion?" And they said, "Oh no, we don't eat that. We don't do that." And it was very
Wow.
sattvic, light food. And they were narrating. The guy was with a very Gregorian voice. He was reading their pastimes, pastimes of their saints, of our saints, I should say.
A Gregorian voice.
Yeah, Gregorian voice.
There you go.
Not like
Have
my
you ever
level.
heard the Gregorian chants? Have you ever
Yeah,
heard the chanting? It's
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
talk about kirtan, right?
Those guys have a seminary there and a cemetery, everything, full circle. And so
Die
the guy.
before you die, right? You
So
die
yeah,
in the seminary,
exactly.
first death, and then you're born again, and then you go to the cemetery.
So I was wearing shorts and they didn't let me in. So I was eating kind of in the hallway, but they put everything out for me, and I was eating and I could hear. They have speakers everywhere, so hearing is facilitated. Shravanam is facilitated there nicely. So I could hear the narration by the Gregorian person. So he was reading this book about this saint. He painted icons in the Russian Orthodox tradition, and he was famous for that. He lived in a monastery. He was like an older avadut kind of person, and so I'm taking prasadam, and the narration goes that there was a leper with pus and wounds and blisters and boils all over his body. And he came to visit that saint, and the saint applied some paint from his that he used for his icons. He applied some of this paint on the wounds, and the pus immediately stopped. Everything healed. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I can eat to that. There's no distraction. There's no, when you eat and hear about some things that aren't palatable, then sometimes your appetite goes down. But in this case, I noticed how these pastimes were so transcendental that it didn't bother, that there was some pus involved. And
think about how was it Haridas Thakur wasn't allowed into the Jagannath, and so he worshipped from afar? Is that the pastime? You're in good company. You're in good company.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. It was wonderful. And the story was, what was the name of the guy? I forget the name, but he was, he lived in this monastery, and there was some younger monks there who weren't very sincere. So they took money from this rich congregational member, and they said to the congregational member that we will give this money to this saint, and he'll make a nice icon for you, and you can worship it and get all the blessings and this and that. So he was given the money. 3 times he gave silver to the younger monks, but they kept the silver. They didn't tell the icon painter about this, and they would just keep the money. So finally, the wealthy congregational member complained to the monastery leadership about this. He said, "I've been given money. There's no icon. There's no blessings. Where are my blessings?" So they summoned the saint, the elderly saint, and they confronted him, saying, "Look, this person has been donating, and you were supposed to make this icon for him. Where's the icon?" And the older guy, the saint, said, "I'm sorry, I had no idea this person was done. I didn't promise anything. I don't know what's happening." And then the administrator said that he had seen the canvases for those icons, and they were empty as of yesterday. And they ordered to bring the canvases to the room to prove that the saint was lying. So they brought the canvases, and all of a sudden the canvases manifested beautiful paintings on them. And the purport of that story, and everybody immediately acknowledged that this was a miracle, legit miracle, that God himself painted those icons to protect the name of his devotee from false accusations. Sometimes God's mercy manifests like that. So that was another story that I heard, and I felt fulfilled by Krishna. Krishna fulfilled my desire to stay connected, even while on a vacation trip. So that was it. No more guilt. Krishna is real. Krishna answers the prayers.
You went into a beautiful sacred place of worship. You heard Gregorian chant. You took prasadam. You saw devotees. And we hope that your family was inspired to see the beauty and the holiness of that place. And that's a good pilgrimage. Is a little different than vacation. Just
Yeah,
like
they immediately remarked, "This is like Nur Vrindavan. This is like Orthodox Nur Vrindavan."
of course, there's nothing wrong with, relaxation. And sometimes it's a good thing to bring some people along with you so that you can they get association of devotees and they take prasadam together. And in an atmosphere where there's not a lot of pressure and activity, you can have good conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Adipurusha Prabhu. Thank you, Bhiman Prabhu. Thanks, everyone. Would anyone like to speak? It's a Monday morning, but we are not discouraged. We are encouraged to serve Krishna. Okay. Anandi, did you figure out how to unmute yourself? Oh, there she is. Please recite the mantra. Recite the mantra to complete the offering.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Anandi. This is my favorite part of class, when devotees recite the mantra. There's nothing like it. So sincere. so genuine and authentic. Thank you, Anandi.